Hi. You must
Hi.
be Catherine.
Hi, Joseph. Nice to meet you.
Yes, very nice meeting you. So my name is Joseph Policape, as you already know.
Mm-hmm.
So um, so I'm here to support you and help you, and with your counseling needs,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you say to me, it's gonna be confidential
Okay.
as a therapist. So what bring you here?
I have a really hard time in school. Like, I have a really hard time paying attention. It's, I don't know, I just have a hard time, like, talking to people, and it's hard for me to do group work. It's hard for me to make friends. It's just tough. So, yeah, I'm having a hard time in school.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So you have a hard time in the school. When that started happening?
I mean, I can remember having concentration problems for so long. And back in elementary, I mean, I always managed to get my homework done, but it's because I didn't really see anybody. Like, I never had friends growing up. I didn't really do anything very much in high school, and up until now, it's like, when I'm in class and it's all PowerPoints now, the PowerPoints just like drive me insane, because if a teacher doesn't format them properly, or there's too many spaces between the words, or different fonts, and just a number of, like, I guess, asymmetry issues.
Okay.
I feel like the professor should have it formatted properly, and it like causes me to not be able to pay attention. And I don't know, I get so frustrated because I know I can be doing better, and there's all this pressure on me, and I have a hard time managing all of it.
So do you hear any other students complaining about the PowerPoint? That is a problem?
No.
No? So you just feel like you just started unable to concentrate at school
The concentration's been my whole life.
your entire life?
Yeah. I think it's been for a variety of different reasons.
Okay.
Usually it's some level of my mind's wandering off, or I just kind of go into, like, if I'm not engaged, I guess, I just kind of go off into la la land, where I just think about anything except what's going on in the moment. Yeah, maybe, I mean, I think about my interactions with people, and I think that I go over the same situation over and over and over. I'm constantly worried about what people think about me, and that I'm like the weird girl or the nerd or whatever. But I have a hard time understanding why I don't really get along with people very well. So that's difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what age, when that started happening?
Like, I can remember when I was 7, I broke my arm in a motorcycle accident because I was a cool 7-year-old. But that's when I can remember the social trouble really starting.
Okay.
Because I broke my upper arm, not my lower arm. And so I only had a sling. I didn't have a cast or anything. And so somebody else had broken their arm at the same time, but they broke their wrist, not their arm.
Okay.
And then I just remember, like, all of the kids saying I was faking it, and I think that's really what, like, started all of the social trouble, because I guess I just never recovered from it.
Okay.
I started realizing that people just, like my friends wouldn't want to go to recess, or, like, my classmates wouldn't want to go to recess, so they would, because I got to pick somebody to, like, stay in with recess, because I didn't have to go to recess for 6 weeks, which was awesome. And, some people would ask to, like, stay with me during recess, and I was like, you don't even like me. Like, what are you doing? So I guess I realized how manipulative people can be when I was 7, and that, I'm gonna guess, didn't help anything. So I think that's when I really started remembering having trouble, and then my best friend moved away when I was 6, and I guess I just never recovered from any of it.
Okay, prior to that age, which was 7, were you doing well in school?
I've always done well in school. I've always been a B student. I just remember before then, like, I would see my friends after school, and I just remember being more, like, not popular, but not as withdrawn as I am now.
Okay. How does that affect your grade at this time?
It doesn't affect my grades. It just affects, I guess, what I do outside of school.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have any social life, but other than that, my grades are fine.
How is it at home?
Home's a little rough. I probably should have moved out sooner than I did. I live with roommates and I have a hard time getting along with them because in my mind things need to be a certain way, and then when they're not, I just have a hard time adjusting my reaction to it. And I mean, I wish I could change things, but you can't change other people, so the only thing left to change is, like, I guess how I manage it. So that's frustrating.
Yes.
Because I'll see the other two roommates hanging out and, like, wonder why. Like, I just want to be a part of it, and I just want to, like, have friends and not just kind of feel like a third wheel all the time.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel a lot.
When did you move out and why?
I was 22.
You were 22.
And it was my senior year of college, and I just moved from my dad's to my mom's house. My parents divorced when I was 10.
Okay.
And my dad's he's so controlling, and he's so he has depression and PTSD from his own childhood, and
Okay.
I know patterns tend to repeat themselves, but I just remember always, like, being afraid of him, afraid of coming home, and so, like, at home I'd be so worked up, I had a hard time sleeping, I just never wanted to, like, leave my room, I guess.
Okay.
So, but then when I moved to my mom's, it's just then, like, what do I do with myself? Like, I can do what I want, but I have no idea what to do. Because I don't really have any friends.
So if I hear you clearly, your parents got divorced when you were 10.
Mm-hmm.
And from there you were living with your dad.
Yes. One of the rare cases where the dad gets custody.
And at 22, you decided, when did you go to your mom?
When I was 22.
When you were 22 and you moved to your mom, and that didn't work out.
Oh, it worked out great.
Worked out.
I had the basement to myself. It was wonderful.
Okay.
But then when I got my job, I decided it was time to move out, and yeah.
Okay. If we go back to the first time that you're saying you weren't able to concentrate at school, how is it feel like? Give me how do you feel when you are in school, when you're sitting on that pew with all the other students, how do you feel?
Anxious. I'm worried constantly about everything. I think so much of my trouble focusing. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some part of me that just kind of dissociates. I just don't care anymore, or, like, I'm not interested, so I just kind of go off into my own land. But sometimes just sitting in class is really hard because I have a hard time just being around people. So that's difficult. And I mean, I always try to participate and whatnot, but I've always done okay in school, just never very well with other people.
Wow, in spite of these difficulties, and you're still doing well in school. You are a very smart person, Catherine.
I guess.
Yes. So why do you think you have no friends?
I guess I just expect everyone to come to me, like, because I'm always so worried about what people think about me that I'd rather them come to me. That way I know that they would want to be friends or, like, want to have interaction, because I don't know why people would want to hang out with me. Like, I don't know how to hold a conversation. I barely know how to, like, introduce myself to people.
Okay.
I mean, I can talk about school, I can talk about work, but that's it. Like, I don't understand what people talk about.
Okay. But does any of the students, anyone, when you sit next to them, like, come and say, do you want to go home to study? Do you want to study with me? Do you want to go to the cafeteria? Or you don't get that at all?
No, maybe once in a great while, but then I just don't know what to do with it. Like, I'll try to respond and I'll try to, I don't know. It's just really, really tough.
So I know with your father, there is a different, a little bit bitter of relationship. But what about your mom? Have you talked to her about this situation?
No, my mom and I, like, we just don't talk about feelings in my family. It's like where I guess my mom and I get along really well. Like we like doing stuff together, but we just have a hard time. I don't know, I guess in the communication department, like we just talk about day-to-day stuff. We work at the same place, or we worked at the same place, so we would talk about that. But I think she has a hard time talking about, like, we both like science, we both like research, so we'll talk about that type of stuff. We like to shop, but I think we just both have trouble, like, communicating.
Okay, so there's a communication problems you feel with your mom as well.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, we're comfortable around each other. We just don't talk a lot.
okay, but you do talk about work.
Mhm.
But you do not talk about your own issues, situation that take place in your life.
I don't want to burden her.
You don't want to. You feel like if you talk to her, she will be disappointed or something.
No, it's just she already has so much going on in her life. I don't want to, like, burden her with, like, my trouble. You know?
Like what? What is going on in her life?
Oh, her partner has a brain tumor, and the brain tumor really affects her personality. So, like, it's just, I know it sounds morbid, but we're just waiting for her partner to die. It's,
Okay.
she's just, it's not a very good situation right now. My mom's just having to take care of the whole house and take care of her partner, and it's a disaster.
Okay.
So she already has her plate full.
She has her plate full. So have you talked to any of your professors at school? No.
I mean, I don't want to, I was always told, if you have a problem, you suck it up and you deal with it. It's just, everyone has problems, so I just should learn to deal with mine. And that's what I was always told, just to deal with it.
Are you participating in any community program like the YMCA, going to church or anything like that?
I used to go to the gym and do some group classes, but then I discontinued my membership because I couldn't afford it anymore.
You just couldn't afford it, but it's something that you would like to continue.
Yeah, it's something that I like doing. I like exercising, but grad school, you just don't get a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. But let's go back again to saying that, you know, you have a hard time to concentrate. So the hard time is just at 7, you started before, it's because of your arms. You feel like because of kids were bothering you with your arms. And then from there on, you started like that.
I guess so. I mean, I don't remember a lot of my younger years, but
Okay.
I guess so.
Okay.
I was always very just to myself. I was the kid learning Morse code on the playground. Like, I just never really played with other kids. I'd rather just kind of do my own thing.
Okay.
Just been an introvert.
But is it something that you would like to do, or you feel?
I mean, I want to be popular. I want to have friends. I want to, like, have a life. I want to have the things every other 24-year-old has, you know? I don't even know where to start. I mean, I get so overwhelmed in crowds. I get so overwhelmed just even thinking about, just coming to treatment's hard because I just think nothing's wrong with me because it's just that's what I grew up around. I mean, why would I think anything's weird and only, like, crazy people have to talk to therapists? So, yeah.
Yes, I don't think there is anything wrong with you. I think it's, you know, all these things that happen in your life, seeing your parents got divorced, and also with the situation with your arm, and all these things, again, with living in 2 separate homes, that can create a lot of problems, but I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think the things that you can do just to start, once you start with your friends, and I'm sure that the world will open up to you. You seem to be a very nice person. You seem to be very kind. You just don't open up yet to people, but that's something that you can start doing.
But how?
How to do that? And I'm sure one thing is like trying to get involved in something like maybe going into as you said, you used to go to the gym, you don't go anymore. Maybe trying to see can your dad or your mom help you in that situation to pay for it. and then started going there, or maybe attend a church, a program, or going to something like a yoga, anything like that.
I mean, I've tried yoga. It's just then I feel like super, super fat when I'm there. I mean, it's all like these skinny minis, and it's just so then I feel worse about myself. If that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, it does make sense the way you feel, but nevertheless, you are who you are. You are Catherine, and the one thing that you have to always say to yourself, I'm beautiful and I'm smart, because I can see that in you. I can see you are a very smart person, and I'm looking at one of the most beautiful person.
But I'm not.
Well, that's in your mind. You might think that way. But to me, I'm sure that what I see, that's what most people see. But probably you might, because you feel like you're not that beautiful. You feel like you're not, if it's in your mind, and that's the way you feel, and at the same time you would think that other people see that, but they may not see that at all. It's just what you think. But if you just open up to people, open up just to say to yourself, you know, I'm a beautiful person, and I'm Catherine, and you know, I'm educated, now you go to school, and when are you going to be finished your college? Are you in school right now?
So, I mean, like, that's great you think that, but, like, I mean, when I would try to be part of, like, community things, like, I was in the classics club or whatnot, and, I mean, I went to UMass Boston for both my undergraduate and currently there. It's just, like, I know they meant it fine, but, like, I mean, I've gotten a little bit better since my undergrad, and then they were like, yeah, we used to talk, like, so much shit about you, which just completely confirms that everyone talks about you behind your back. And they have nothing nice to say, so what's the fucking point?
How do you know they do not have something nice to say? Do they tell you what they talk about you?
Well, they said they talked a lot of shit about me, so yeah, obviously they're not saying nice things.
Like what?
They wouldn't tell me what, but I mean, I was always really awkward, I was always really quiet, I never really, I guess I don't understand social norms. I don't know.
It's probably because you're quiet, you think people would say something negative about you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I know that I have a hard time getting along with people and I'm not very well liked. So what's the point? And I mean, I'm gonna keep trying because, like, I'm really, like, stubborn. But there's just no point. I mean, I never know what people are saying about me, so I guess it's easier to just kind of assume and move away from there.
Yeah, you think that the negative thought is coming from. Tell me a little bit more about your dad. You said that he's have some mental issues.
Yeah, my he has PTSD from his childhood. His dad just picked up and left when he was 12, and he made sure we knew it. His mom, I guess, was pretty cold, so, like, his mom never really paid a ton of attention to him. Like, he tried to make her happy, and it just didn't work.
Okay.
And then he has depression because he's a lawyer, and he shouldn't be a lawyer. He hates it, and he tells us every day how much he hates it. So, that's a lot of it.
So as a lawyer, I'm sure that he's somebody that would communicate well.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
It's like being in court every day. It's like, it's like, hi, how was your day? Maybe, bye, go do this for me, go do that for me. Like, it's not very, I don't know, home was never very warm.
No.
No. And then, like, my younger brother had a lot of friends, and he managed to be so, like, my older brother has Asperger's. Like, he's on the autism spectrum, so he never had any friends. So I thought it was just kind of normal to not have any friends.
Yeah.
I only have, like, one or two, but my parents never had anyone over, and if they did, it was like family, and it was just a chore, so.
Okay. Tell me about your siblings. So do you have brothers and sisters? You just told me about one brother.
Yeah, I have one older, one younger. My older brother he works with computers. He's autism, but he's just very socially inept. He doesn't really make eye contact. He's very monotone, doesn't reach out to people. He prefers to just play video games all day. My younger brother is completely extroverted. he has a lot of friends. He lived at college. Both my older brother and I stayed home.
Okay.
But, I mean, my younger brother and I have gotten along a lot better recently, so that's good. But it's hard having a relationship with my older brother because he's so, like, any conversation other than video games is really, hey, how's it going?
Wow.
It's at work.
Okay.
So that maybe is kind of difficult.
Do you have any contact with your other brother? He seemed to be a good communicator because he has all his friends.
Yeah, I mean, we're close. I
Okay.
mean, he's out in New York now, so I don't see him very often, but I'm trying.
What about your grandparents? Did you meet them? Do you know them?
I knew my mom's mother and father. They've since moved on. I knew my dad's mother, but I never met his father. And his mother was just, I never really thought anything of it, but I just know that my dad hated going to see her.
Okay.
And that she just, I don't know.
So what did you think of her as a grandma when you met her?
I have no idea. I don't remember what I think of her.
So you did not have a relationship with her at that point?
No.
Is it because the way you see her, your father, treat her and you felt that she wasn't the nice person to, or she did not attract you?
I have no idea.
Okay. What about on your mother's side?
I spent weekends with my oma and my opa. They're a couple generations,
Okay.
German, whatnot, but they were really cool.
They were cool.
Yeah. My opa was amazing. He World War II vet, just super kind, very giving, just very lighthearted.
Okay.
And my oma, I don't remember a lot of her because she had emphysema
Okay.
and took 10 years to kill her.
Wow.
And just kind of watching her suffer through it. I don't remember her healthy, but
Healthy, okay.
I always remember having like good family dinners over there, and it was just so much calmer.
But that was something that you really enjoy when you were growing up, seeing your grandma and grandpa from your mother's side were very friendly to people and very nice to people.
I mean, I only saw them once in a while, though.
Once in a while.
I didn't really see them all the time.
Okay. What about the home? Tell me a little bit about communication in your home between your mom and dad. How did that go?
It's pretty bad. I remember asking my mom to divorce my dad when I was like 8.
Wow.
There was just a lot of screaming and yelling, so I pretty much blocked most of it out. I just don't like talking about it. They just never. My dad's a Christian, and he was cheating on my mom for 7 years with.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just he's a hypocrite. It's fucking crazy. So it's hard for me to believe that like any human relationship is real. I guess that like everyone's gonna have their own agenda no matter what. It's maybe that's why I don't trust people. I mean, even if that's why I don't trust people, doesn't change the fact I don't trust anyone. You know.
So you think, therefore, because you see your dad and your mom, they were reacted in the home as husband and wife, and as mother and father, and before you, they were fighting in your brothers, and you feel that really what make you feel like, why should I trust anybody if I could not trust my own parents?
Probably, but it doesn't change the fact I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they slept in separate bedrooms for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
They just.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
It's not tough when you don't know any different.
Yes. Yes. But nevertheless, right now, do you ever feel at one point that you to say to yourself, I'm Catherine. I'm not my mom. I'm not my dad. I'm not my brother. But I'm who I am, and I can be my own person. And I can be who I am. I can be a happy person. I can be a person who make a lot of friends, although I did not see that at home. But I can change. I can make a difference. Do you ever feel that way?
I mean, I kind of just have no idea how to.
Okay.
I mean, I can barely sit in the cafeteria because my anxiety is so bad.
Okay.
Like, I just can't handle it.
Yes.
So,
I'm sure that you can handle it, but it will take a little bit of time because like coming to me right now make me feel that at least you come in and I see that you talking to me and you are able to explain to me your situation, your difficulties that you encounter right now. That I feel that the same way, if you start meeting people, going out, and maybe going to church or maybe going to a yoga session somewhere or going to the gym, you'll be able to face somebody and start talking to somebody, say hello, because that's all that started. And hopefully something will happen from there. What do you think?
I mean, I've had friends seem to last 2 years for me for some reason. Like,
Okay.
when I do manage to meet people, I guess I just don't think any human relationship can sustain itself. But then it's like, I'll try to I've done adult soccer leagues and I've tried. I mean,
Okay.
I've really, really tried. I just feel like such an outsider and everyone's all like happy and smiling and talking to each other and I have no idea how to do the conversation part. Like, it boggles my mind, like, how people sustain conversations. Like, I mean, I can talk about problems, but I can talk about, like, the weather, but I guess substance-wise, I just don't have anything.
Yes, I'm sure you have it, but you just have to learn to put it out there, to start expressing yourself more, to start going toward people more, because if people feel like, well, Catherine is sitting here, maybe she doesn't want me to talk to her, I'm not going to talk to her. But if you yourself can make an effort to meet other people.
I've made an effort, it just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. Is it, what do you think? It's not working. What make it not working?
I don't have a clue how to talk to people.
You don't have a clue when you're talking to them, or?
I know how to talk about school, I know how to talk about neuroscience, and I know how to talk about chemistry.
Okay, but you don't know how to talk about social things, like?
I mean, I like reality TV, but mostly because it makes me feel better about myself, because they're even more fucked up. But it's just like, what do people talk about? What do people, like, carry on conversations for? Like, I analyze everything.
Okay.
And, I mean, I'm a scientist, so everything, like, support all of my thoughts through just observation.
Okay, tell me a little bit about we're going back, eventually we will go back again to you a little bit to talk about your family, your background and stuff like that. But tell me a little bit about your friendship right now at work. When you go to work in the day, you work now?
So I'm a TA
Okay.
for chemistry labs,
Okay.
and I mean, I'm pretty okay at it. But again, it's a work setting. I know how to handle work. I don't know how to handle outside of work.
Okay.
Like, work is one situation, like sports are another situation, like home is another situation. It's just, in a structured situation, I'm fine. Just don't have a clue how to deal with, like, non-structured.
So do you feel like now at work you can always be a team player?
Well, I only TA 2 labs a week, and then I'm just in the lab by myself doing research.
Okay.
So, I mean, I talk to my colleague, but I don't really know. I mean, like, when we go outside of work, it's just, I don't know, it's like I'm not so much into chemistry that I can talk about it all the time, but I'm also like, I don't know, I just don't think I have anything in common with them. I mean, I'd like to go out and drink, but that's about it. So I know how to do that.
Okay.
But that's it.
Well, that's a good start. If you can go out and drink, so when you go there, let's say for example, if you go to a bar, do you see other people there?
I mean, I see other people. I don't go talk to them, but
Okay.
I mean, the whole purpose of going to the bar is that there's an excuse to drink. And it's like, okay, you go there, you order a drink, you loosen up a little bit, and then you just kind of go with the flow. But it's like, that's the only thing on my mind, like, I guess, is going out and getting drinks.
Yeah, I know that's not a good thing. But going to the bar itself, do you meet people? Do anybody ever come to you and says, "What is your name?" And no,
No.
no. Why do you think it's that?
Because I'm usually crouched by myself and I kind of don't look people in the eye.
Okay.
And I don't know, I get irritated at like little stuff and I don't know, I mean, compared to other girls my age, it's just, you know.
Is that you feel that the communication is not there at all, or you just feel like you're shy? You don't want to meet other people?
I just don't think the communication's there.
Communication is there. Okay. So tell me again about your dad. You said that he suffered with PTSD, and he also, but he's a lawyer. I'm sure that he goes to the court on a daily basis.
Yeah, he lets us know that he doesn't sleep the entire night before court. And I mean, he's a good lawyer, but he hates it. He only does it for money, and he basically just says he only stayed in it to support the family. So basically blaming us for it. And just, he doesn't regulate his temper at all. Like, he's just so quick to get mad about stupid stuff. Like, he had this nose surgery back when I was in like, elementary school, and he told us to have the house clean, and the house wasn't completely clean, and then he just took the TV away for a couple of years after like freaking out and screaming at us. So, I mean, I don't remember a lot of growing up, but I mean, I remember like a couple of different instances. Like, he can't handle vacation. Like, he will go up to Maine, we'll try to stay over the night, but then he gets so worried about work because he works for himself. He's an entrepreneur. That like he'll drive from Maine all the way back to the office, check his voicemail, and then drive all the way back up, and then complain about how much he hates work.
And when he does that, does he leave you guy on vacation and go back to check on his work?
Mm-hmm.
How long usually those vacations are?
Maybe a week.
A week.
Tops. Maybe it's usually a weekend.
Okay.
But then he's just complaining about money the entire time. Like how much life costs, and you need money for this, and you need money for that, which has some truth, but I'm kind of realizing it's not everything. I mean, you need enough to live, but you don't need so much that you're constantly doing, like, freaking out or whatever. I mean, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my stepmom, when she moved in, she went to law school, and so now they're both lawyers.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about, okay, your mom, so she was just a stay-home mom with you guys, and let's say your dad go to work, does he come late afternoon, or is there any time he ever slept out?
He always, I mean, he'd go on business trips, but the business trips were to go see my stepmom. And I know that because she's from Chicago, and he always went to Chicago. And I lost my train of thought, but
Yeah. You said when he goes out, like for example, he said he's going for a business trip, but he went to see your stepmom. So because she was living in Chicago. So that means when he was married, and at the same time you feel that he was already has an affair with your stepmom.
well, I pieced it together once my stepmom moved in. Like it all made sense when my stepmom moved in. But I mean, at the time I didn't think anything of it. I mean, my mom's a nurse by trade.
Okay.
But she always said that my dad didn't want her to work, that my dad wouldn't be flexible in the slightest, because I mean, when you have 3 kids, and we're all a year and a half apart. So, like, my older brother's a year and a half older than me, and then I'm a year and a half older than my younger brother. I mean, having kids so close in age, you really need to have a parent that's home. I mean, from the stories I've been told that, like, a few times he was left alone with us, he would either, like, fall asleep or just...
That's your dad. Oh, your older brother. Did you say who left alone? Your brother with you guys?
Well, I mean, when my mom and my dad were together, like, my mom would have to go do errands and leave my dad in charge, and then he'd fall asleep.
He fall asleep.
Leaving us unattended. I mean, it was kind of funny one time when we, like, decided to put mustard all over the carpet, but it is what it is.
That means there was no communication with you and your dad.
Pretty much. It was just, I mean, I kind of see myself as like I was just supposed to be there to like serve him. It wasn't really anything else. I mean, he would always like just call for a child. I mean, even though like our family room is like down the hall from the kitchen, he would have one of us come from like upstairs to get him a glass of water. Like, the more I think about it, like the more screwed up it is, but it's just how it was growing up. It wasn't fun. It was like miserable.
What is your dad's relationship with your brothers?
Same. He's pretty distant. I mean, he likes my older brother the best because my older brother is really mellow. Like, he doesn't really do anything. I mean, in my dad's eyes, my older brother is like a loyal kid because like he'll drop everything and go see him or like help him do stuff. But I mean, my younger brother and I are just kind of like the demon kids because we moved away and we don't put up with his bullshit, whereas my older brother just doesn't see his bullshit. So.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your stepmom. So when did you get to know her, that she exists in the picture?
When she moved, when I was 9.
You were 9 years old when she moved in?
Yeah, the divorce was finalized 1 month, they were married the next. And, I mean, I remember liking her initially, but then she became a lot like my dad. But she's always been more willing to listen to me.
Okay.
She always really tried. I mean, I don't have like bad memories of her.
Okay.
She means really, really well, but I think any woman who's putting up with my dad for this long as she is just isn't just gonna kind of withdraw, I guess.
How long did you spend with your stepmom?
I mean, from the time she moved in when I was 9, I mean, I never really had like alone time with her or anything. It was always like family dinners or this or that, but I just never spent a lot of time with her. I just thought you just go home, you do your homework, and that's it. Like, I'd walk the dog. I love walking my dogs, but...
So have you had animals that you could be with you? So it seemed that the situation that you were in was just not fun at all. And it's not only you, but it's your brother, because your mom is like that because she was not a good person, but she was herself was suffering during that period.
I mean, I know all of that. It just doesn't change the fact that, like, I mean, it doesn't help me to know why things are going on. It's just, I know that I have trouble currently with social situations, and I know that it's affecting me enough that I'm willing to, like, go get help.
Yes,
so
which is very good, because I'm sure there is help on the way. I mean, by making this great move, and I can promise you, life is gonna get better. So we're gonna change the gear a little bit. I'm gonna try to ask you some question, for you to please answer. What year is this?
It's 2015.
Okay, what season is this?
Summer.
Which city are we in?
Waltham. It's more of a town though.
Where are we right now?
We're at work.
Okay. Which floor are we on?
2nd.
Okay. I'm going to name 3 objects, and I'm going to ask you to repeat them.
Okay.
And then so I'll try to ask you again. And the first one is shoes. And house.
Okay. Shoes, house.
Dog.
Shoes, house, dog. Shoes, house, dog. Okay.
All right. So, what are the 3 things I was just telling you?
Shoes, house, dog.
Just house, dog. Are you good with numbers, or are you?
I like numbers a lot.
You like numbers?
Chemistry, math.
Okay. Can you minus 8 from 50?
8 from 50, 42.
If you minus 8 from that.
35.
Okay. Do you remember those 3?
Shoes, house, dog.
That's very good. Your memory is very good, and you could remember things. What we talk about here mostly, you explained to me about your family situation. It seemed that this is something that you've been living through all your life. Have you seen any counselor about that before?
No, it's my first time.
This is the first time. Okay. So, how do you feel about being here today?
I feel like crap.
Yeah. But do you know this is something that is very good? That's a very good move. It's because you're doing this because you are very brave.
I mean, it's good. It's all good intentions, but like, I guess I already know the what and the why. I just need to like learn how to talk to people and like focus.
Well, I'm sure the focus itself. Do you read a lot?
I can't stand reading.
You cannot
I've always
stand
been told I'm a bad reader. I just remember that from when I was younger. I have a hard time remembering what I read a page ago, so I just can't follow a story. Like, the good thing with science is that you write out all of your word problems, so it's really easy for me to keep track of like where I am in the problem. And you know, the articles I read are pretty short, so it's easy for me to like comprehend them. Whereas otherwise, like reading a novel, it's not fun for me.
Okay.
Because I get bored or I get irritated because I can't remember anything, or like they'll mention something that clearly was in a page a couple pages ago and then I forget it. It's just really annoying.
Are you in any relationship at this time?
No.
No. Is it something that you think about?
Eventually.
Eventually.
With time.
So tell me a little bit, how would you think that should be going? How do you feel like to start a relationship? What step do you think you're gonna take for that to happen?
Have Prince Charming come in his shining horse.
Okay.
I mean, I know I've tried, you know, online dating here and there, but I've done a lot of really bad dates.
Online dating, do you see anybody have you ever get lucky to have a date?
I mean, a couple dates here and there, but there's just no point.
Tell me about those dates.
Their dates, I don't really do that much on them. I mean, I think I go for people who are way underneath me because I need to be the dominant one in the relationship. Like, I need to either be smarter than or better than other people because I just need to know that I'm better.
Why do you feel like this is who you are, or do you feel like it's because you feel like you're superior to those people?
I mean, growing up having no control, any control I can get is good control, I guess.
So you feel like you want to take control of those people?
Control of them, but I need to be better.
You want to be better?
I was always told I was not, and that these are bad, and that because I was a bad reader, I wasn't going to be able to be a doctor, and this and that, and I guess I was always just told so many bad things. I just need to feel good in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. Let's say, for example, you one of the dates, do you go to dinner? Tell me one typical day of those dates. Do you go to the movies, or do you go and sit in a restaurant? Or what do you do? Watching a baseball game? Or?
Baseball is so boring. I usually go for coffee because that way you can have a conversation with people or try to get to know them, and it's cheap. I think I went to the movies once and it was bad.
What about it?
I mean, you can't talk through the movie, and then I keep forgetting that like I either process things differently or like I'll comment on either foreshadowing or oh yeah, this was totally set up for this, or and I figure things out before people. I mean, so then there's really not much to talk about, and then I run out of things to talk about, and then I'm just like, all right, see you never again.
How long was those dates? Those, I mean, the day, like for example, do you go for an hour, for 2 hours, for?
However long. I mean, there was one person I saw that lasted a couple dates that we had really good conversation. She was really smart though.
Okay.
And yeah, we guess maybe I just go for people who are unavailable because I just don't think anything can work.
So when you say smart, that means when you go to those dates, you check, you see, okay, this is who I am, this is my resume. And I'm going to look at that person's resume and I can see that person has been influenced. So therefore, let me go with that person. Is that the way it is? No.
Yeah. It's all about how a person presents. And I mean, like, it's just, I don't know, like, I want to go for someone, like, more extroverted. And I always find people more like me who are more introverted and quiet. I mean, it's easier to meet people online because you can just kind of hide behind the internet. You don't have to play the bar game.
Okay. But, okay, what I would suggest, I think, Catherine, we are in a good place right now by able to come here and talk to me the way you are. I can see you can talk. I can see that you're not shy, but you probably think you are.
I can talk about problems. I can talk about facts.
And that's good. And that's good. These are skills. You have a lot of skills.
Most people don't want to hear it, though. Like, nobody wants a Debbie Downer, you know?
Right. But, you know, everything starts somewhere. You can start, like, as long as you can start communicating with somebody, maybe the person will talk about his own situation, you talk about your own situation. But it's trying to meet the person halfway and says, okay, well, this is who I am, and finally things will come. But what I would suggest, you trying to get more of those dates and then trying to see if you can get somebody who can really more, who attracted to you, not like you because the person just wanted a date, but somebody who loves you for who you are. When you tell them this is who you are, this is what my life, because I'm sure that you're a very open person.
I mean, if it was that easy, I wouldn't be here.
That's true. No, I'm sure it's not that easy. But you are a very open-minded person. You talk to me and you tell me, I'm sure when you meet with those people, you will be able to at least start a conversation with them. And if they start a conversation with you, it just open up. Where do you like to go? What social, beside going to a bar or something else, anything else you would like to attend?
Not really. I mean, I go to Boston Pride, but I mean, I was on the committee for a year, but that was really bad because it's like, I could sort of do stuff. Like, I'm really good at organizing things, but then I really hate talking on the phone with people, and you have to talk on the phone with people.
Yeah.
That's really hard. Like, I'm really good face-to-face. I just have such a hard time, like, messaging people or...
So you prefer face-to-face?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well, that way I can read people. I can tell if somebody's lying, and I can, like, I read people really well, which is good, but...
Okay. So therefore, I mean, if you don't mind meeting people, I think that should be something. So when you were there, you were playing a role, I assume, in the Boston Pride.
I organized the festival, so I coordinated with the vendors and had the day run pretty smooth. I mean, like, I'm really good at organizing, and I'm really good at, like, telling people, like, this is where you need to go, this is what you need to do, this is what we're doing. I'm really good at that.
Okay.
But it's just hard, like, I mean, most people go up to people and be like, oh, hey, like, you know, how are the kids? Or, hey, how's the degree coming? And I'm just like, all right, this is what we're doing. So I think I just miss the small talk aspect because I don't see the point in small talk.
Okay. What I'm hearing, though, you are a people person. Although you may not think so, but I can see you are a people person more than, you know.
I think the desire's there. I just think the lack of, I mean, I'm really stubborn.
Yes. What I feel is that you just need to open up to more people and start thinking about who you are. And one thing that I can see, I see somebody who is professional by talking to you, a person that is educated, a person that beautiful, a person I can see that can do a lot of things. You're creative. So what you need to do is to start working on those things that you started, like, for example, go back again to that pride and try to meet those people more and maybe get involved more. There's no, I don't think it's bad being a leader. I can see you are a leader. Do you feel that way?
I want to be. I just feel like more of a follower because I just have to relate. I don't know. I mean, it's like feelings aren't facts. They're not like great pep talk, but it's not really doing anything. Like, what's the point?
Okay. The way I feel now, our time is up right now, but we will be talking more about those issues about your father, the relationship with your mom, and also trying to talk to you about your brothers. And I know one of them you said who also feel like doesn't have the communication skills to communicate with you, but you have one of your brother that can be very helpful if you have a good relationship with him, because also you say that he likes to talk, he likes to make friends. And do you think there is a possibility you can start trying to spend a little bit of time with him, going out, even with your brother?
I've done that.
You've done that. How often?
I usually would see him a couple times a year. When he was at UMass Amherst, I'd see him usually once or twice a year. Now that he's in Troy. And I mean, that's all great and dandy, but it's just not me.
Mm-hmm. But can you guys see each other more often?
I mean, he's in grad school, I'm in grad school.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice, but I don't know.
Is there way, I'm sure that you guys, both of you are very busy, but I'm sure that you will need some time for yourself as well. And one way to spend it, I think that should be a good thing, to spend some time with your brother and maybe even to discuss and get it out, discuss about your relationship with your family, with your mom and dad, and how it was and how it is, and how you guys feel like you can change. Is your brother dating anybody at the moment?
I mean, we don't talk about that stuff though.
Okay.
Just
You just talk about,
day-to-day stuff. We talk about work, we talk about school,
okay.
you know,
Do you guys go out, meet, eat, and anything like that?
once in a while.
Okay. Do you think this is something that you can extract more?
I mean, everything you're saying is good, but it's all things I've heard before.
Yes.
So it's like, what's the point?
Well, I mean, the point is that I feel this is something you might have heard it, but you never put any thought into it, maybe to feel like maybe this is a good thing that can really help me to be who I am, not because probably right now you still feel like you hurt. You hurt, and I'm sure you are, about the way you see your dad treated your mom and also treated you and your siblings. And I'm sure that was very difficult for you.
It just is what it is.
But to start thinking that, my dad is my dad, my mom is my mom. Now I am Catherine, I'm going to try to live my life. So therefore you start living your life, and you can talk to your brother about that and say, you're a good person. And don't you feel like when you see your brother, isn't he a good person?
He's a good person, but
Yes.
I don't know.
And you are a good person. And you just think about that, and think about me. Now I'm not going to live for my mom, and I'm not going to live in my mom's shoes. I'm not going to live in my dad's shoes. They had their own life, and I have my own life. Now I'm going to live mine. And you can start from there. So, and that's where we are, and also maybe we will also talk about a little bit more about, we're not going to focus more on that depression, I think, because that was his depression, but we can talk more about your own communication issues that you have and about your situation now, unable to focus and to see what we can do to remedy that situation. And do you have any question for me? You have anything else you want to say?
What's the point of doing this? This is all stuff I know.
I think the point of doing it, I think it will take a little bit of time for us to sit down, and maybe we can create a schedule, and when we meet again, and we can go through it and say, this is what we're going to be talking about, and this is what we're going to talk about. And the more we talk, and maybe some of these things that you've been thinking, the history of your family, that you've been holding those thoughts, and that's not good for you. And also being unable to focus, and then be able to having a date, even starting with your brother and going out with him, sitting down in a restaurant, talk about some of those issues. Then eventually, gradually, go into other dates, and that will help you. And also maybe talking about the way you feel about dates, like you feel like you need somebody who is beneath you. Maybe we can think about how you can see somebody as equal partners. I think that would help a lot. Don't you think so?
Maybe.
Yes, I'm sure it's well. So do you have any questions for me?
No.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you would like to talk about?
No.
Would you like to meet again?
Not really. I mean, I didn't really find this very helpful.
No.
To be honest.
All right. What would you like to try?
I mean, we can try one more,
Okay.
but like, I don't know. It's just not really what I'm looking for. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to learn how to like move on. And talking about it isn't gonna help. I've already done talking about it, like either with myself or like I've tried to work through so much of it, but like it just doesn't help, you know? Like
Yes.
I want to move on, but like I don't have the skills to.
On our next meeting, we will probably going to talk a little bit about that, and also trying to look for some ways that can help you to move on with your communication skill, how to meet with people, how to make more friends, because right now you don't have that many friends, and that's something that can really help you in the long run. So we're going to try to meet at the same time. Would that be okay for you?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, and very nice meeting you.
Yeah.
And nice talking to you.
Okay.